Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be playing ninjas. So I've had a lot of combo heavy decks on my channel lately like Centurion, and I wanted to show you guys what you could do with a simpler deck. So ninjas are particularly good in Master Duel because they play very well under Max C and full charm, Mole Charming Foalas and that sort of thing. Typically speaking, on your first turn, you will just normal summon Hanzo and pass. That's a common play. You could also potentially, like, maybe you'll set a monster and then special summon Mitsu to use its effect so that you could have a negate. Or maybe, like, at most, you will summon Hanzo, special summon Mitsu, link them into Saizo. So, like, at most on turn one, you're special summoning twice, and your opponent gets to draw one card off of their Max C because they're replacing one card from the Max C. But for the most part, it is simply just a control deck where you play very slowly, very carefully. You're not going to win on turn 2 with this deck. You're going to win on turn 5 or 6. That's so for the people out there who feel like Master Duel games are too short, that it's too decided in one turn, this is the deck for you. You play slow, you play grindy, you put your opponent to a halt, and then you kind of just win with resource generation. This version of the deck does not play any floodgates, which is nice for you guys. You know, I know that a lot of people don't like floodgates, except for Droll. Is Droll really a floodgate? I mean, kind of, but it's not like you're playing Colossus, right? Like, you're playing a deck that's ninjas, and you are just kind of winning the game because you can outsmart your opponent, as opposed to by saying skill drain. You can't play the game, right? So, let's take a look at the deck and what we can do with it. For the hand traps, we are playing 3 copies of Effect Veiler, 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 2 copies of Max C, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, 3 copies of Ghost Warner and Moonlit Chill, 1 copy of Nibiru the Primal Being. So that is 3, 6, 11, 14, 7, 3, 6, 8, 11, 14, 15 hand traps. 15 hand traps, 25 main deck cards. Pretty standard for a ninja deck. Droll is particularly good against Fiendsmith. It's kind of the only thing that can slow Fiendsmith down, really. If you manage to Droll and Lockbird track, like Fiendsmith Engraver, then they can't play Tracked, and if they can't play Tracked, they're not really going to start their combo anymore, so that's really good. We are playing Ghost Warner and Moonlit Chill, which has the ability to negate the effects of a special summon monster, except during the damage step, to beat Tenpai. This is Effect Veiler that can be used during the battle phase. So if your opponent, you have Effect Veiler for the main phase, and then if your opponent tries to go into the battle phase and summon there, then you just Ghost Warner their Bident Dragion, and then they can't special summon from the graveyard. They end on a 2700 attack Synchro monster, and that's it. And that's a good way to prevent your opponent from just winning the game. Nibiru, of course, is Nibiru. It's a good card to draw into with Max C, and Ash Blossom is just insane. Okay. For the ninjas, we are playing 3 copies of Tobari the Sky Ninja. Tobari the Sky Ninja is a Earth-winged beast, which is a phrase I never thought I'd say. It's 0 attack and 0 defense. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects the turn it was special summon or flip face up. That is not an activated effect, it is just a effect that's always live state-based. So the only way this can be negated is if the entire card is negated. Tobari is a great card to set face down, especially if you're going to flip her face up with Mitsu. It's very difficult for you to stop Tobari from just making sure that you don't die. Of course, Tobari does not Ubel, it does not prevent you from taking battle damage, but as long as Tobari is in defense mode, it doesn't really matter. You can only use each of the following effects of Tobari the Sky Ninja once per turn. On your turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon 1 ninja monster from your hand in face up or face down defense position. Cool. This is a card that will allow you to sort of combo if you need to. Get some extra bodies on the board, potentially to go into Maizen or Saizo. So Tobari will give you reach, which ninjas can need sometimes. The deck ideally will focus off of 1 normal summon, but there are some times, especially when you go second, that you need to be a little bit more decisive and quick, and Tobari achieves that. During your opponent's main phase or their battle phase, as a quick effect, you can fusion summon 1 ninja fusion monster from your X deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. So Tobari can fusion summon during the opponent's turn. that will either allow you to pull out Maizen so that you can make sure that Maizen doesn't get attacked, or you can pull out Yagaramaru, the Armor Ninja, which will banish one of your opponent's monsters. Very useful effects. So yeah, this card is great. You can special summon 2 of it with your Ninjutsu Art Duplication, so just keep that in mind and win the game. Next up, we have Mitsu the Insect Ninja. If you control a ninja card or a face-down defense position monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. When your opponent activates a monster effect, as a quick effect, you can target one face-down defense position monster you control, change it to face-up defense position, and if you do, change Mitsu to face-down defense position. Then, if the monster that you targeted was a ninja monster, except Mitsu the Insect Ninja, negate that opponent's activated effect. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, so Mitsu will allow you to get a negate by just special summoning herself to your side of the field while you control a face-down monster. Then you flip your face-down monster face-up, and as long as it's a ninja, then Mitsu can negate a monster effect while she also turns herself face-down. And that triggers all of your ninja's flip effects during your opponent's turn. So if you flip, for example, your Tobari, you would be able to then immediately fusion summon. You could also flip your Baku the Beast Ninja, which has an ability to add a card from your graveyard to your hand, or you could potentially flip Joe, and when Joe is flipped face up, he gets to target 2 face-up monsters on the field and flip them face down. So yeah, just good cards. Mitsu is one of the key core parts of the archetype. You can special summon it while you have a face-up ninja and then link it to Saizo. If you have a face-down monster that's a ninja, you could turn it into Maizen or potentially Yagaramaru. So there's plenty of options for Mitsu to build a board and win the game. We are playing 1 copy of Green Ninja. Green Ninja is a level 2 Wind Warrior monster. 600 attack, 600 defense. If a monster is special summoned to your field, face up, except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters and special summon this card from your hand. If you do, change that monster to face down defense position. Interestingly enough, this is not if you special summon a monster, it is if a monster is special summoned to your field. That means that if your opponent is trying to play with your, your deck, they're trying to mess with you and win the game off of like an FTK, you can potentially stop that by turning whatever monster they're trying to target face down. You could potentially stop things like Geonator Transverser or even the Gimmick Puppet FTK. Cool. If this card is set from the hand or the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 monster on the field, change it to face-up attack or face-down defense position. That's very helpful. You could potentially flip one of your monsters that you had set face down this turn with perhaps your Kagero or your Ninjutsu scroll card, Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery. One of those monsters that you couldn't flip face up on your own, flip it face up so that you can use its effects, or you could potentially use it as material. Or you could always just target one of your opponent's negates, set it face down. If they try and negate the Green Ninja in response, cool, the Green Ninja is already off your field, they're not really getting anything out of it. Great card. Next up, we have Baku the Beast Ninja, level 3 Beast Monster with 1500 attack points and 600 defense points. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it. If this card is special summoned or flip face up, you can target 1 ninja monster or 1 ninjutsu art card from your graveyard or your face up spell and trap zone, except Baku the Beast Ninja, and return it to the hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So Baku the Beast Ninja does allow you to either recover some ninjas that you've used as fusion material or link material, or it could potentially even allow you to reuse one of your ninjutsu art cards so that you don't have to worry about trying to return them to the hand with their own effects. Very, very good card, and because it can special summon itself immediately after it's added to the hand, it's one of the primary effects you will draw off of your Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. Speaking of which, Hanzo is next. Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. Level 4, 1800 attack, 1000 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 ninjutsu art card from your deck to your hand. When this card is flip summoned or special summoned, you can add 1 ninja monster from your deck to your hand, except Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. Hanzo is very similar to Elemental Hero Stratos in that neither of its effects is once per turn, but they both miss timing. Very, very annoying. So you're typically not going to miss timing on the first effect. Normal summoning is almost always a chain link 1, and in this deck we don't really have any ways to normal summon as a chain link 2. But the second effect, where you get to special summon it, Hanzo, and activate its effect, is much more commonly missed timing, because a lot of times when you special summon Hanzo, it is off of an effect that is used as part of a chain. Like, for example, if you special summon Hanzo off of Ninjutsu Art of Duplication because you're trying to prevent your Jo from being targeted, well, then Hanzo was special summoned as a chain link too, so it misses timing. Additionally, if you special summon off of Maizen at all, Maizen's effect always activates in response to your opponent activating a card or effect, which means it will always be chain link too, and Maizen will always cause Hanzo to miss timing. So there's a lot of anti-synergy with Hanzo in the deck, which is a pain point for a lot of ninja players. But Hanzo is still the best normal summon in the deck, which means that it earns its spot as 3 of in any ninja deck. Next up, we have Kagero the Cannon Ninja. This is a level 4 Fire Warrior monster with 1600 attack points and 2000 defense points. If this card is normal or special summoned, or flip face up, you can special summon one ninja monster from your hand or your graveyard in defense position except Kagero the Cannon Ninja. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets exactly one ninja card or exactly one face-down defense position monster you control, while Kagero is in your graveyard, as a quick effect you can special summon Kagero in defense position, face down. And if you do, return the targeted card to the hand. Okay, so you will essentially protect one of your monsters that is targeted by your opponent by bouncing it. And then Kagero gets to revive herself. Now, Kagero's ability to special summon from the hand is really good. It doesn't miss timing like Hanzo's does. So this is a card that you will often special summon, especially if you brick on Jill. If Jill is in your opening hand, then Kagero is basically the only way to get Jill on the field. So Kagero is definitely a card that's very useful to you. Some decks play her at 3 because she can be kind of a combo starter, especially if your goal is to make Maizen on turn 1. But really, this list focuses more on trap control, which means that Kagero is a lot better to be special summoned off of your Ninjutsu Art of Duplication or even your Art of Dancing Leaves as opposed to normal summoning her. Next up, we have Jo the Gravity Ninja. Jo the Gravity Ninja is a level 8 Earth Rock monster with 2300 attack points and 2900 defense points. If this card is normal or special summoned or flip face up, you can target up to 2 face up monsters on the field, change them to face down defense position. And if you do, any opponent's monsters that were flipped by this effect cannot change their battle positions forever. Very, very dangerous effect. That is a lingering effect, so that means that even if Jo leaves the field, or if it changes turns, your opponent is still unable to change their monster's battle positions except by card effect. If a monster on the field is flipped face up while this monster is face up on the field except during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So Jo allows you to turn your monsters face down, then you flip them face up in the same turn, and Jo gets to pop a card. Very good, especially when you combine it with Hanzo, because one of Hanzo's biggest problems is that it's actually quite difficult to flip summon it. It's really easy to special summon Hanzo. It's really easy to flip Hanzo face up, but flip summoning it is very rare. Basically, the only time that you'll be able to flip summon it is if you already have Jo on the field and you set your Hanzo face down. Cool. We are also playing Reinforcement of the Army. This adds 1 level 4 or lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand. This will draw Hanzo, or Kagero, or Green Ninja. Pretty good. We are playing 1 copy of Ninjutsu Art Tool Iron Digger. This is an equipped spell card. The equipped monster gains 500 attack points. Also, it is treated as a ninja monster. So you can equip this to one of your non-ninja monsters so that they can get the ability to attack directly with Maizen the Battle Ninja. You can only use each of the following effects of Ninjutsu Art Tool Iron Digger once per turn. You can banish 1 ninja monster from your graveyard, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished ninja monsters and add it to your hand, or special summon it in face-down defense position. Both of these effects are very, very good, and of course, Iron Digger is primarily used to destroy spells and traps, but it could also be used to pop a very annoying monster on your opponent's field, though typically ninjas just ignore the opponent's field and attack directly. We are playing 1 copy of Hidden Village of Ninjutsu Arts. This is a field spell. If a ninja monster is special summoned to your field except during the damage step, you can target 1 ninja monster or 1 ninjutsu art card in your graveyard, add it to your hand, but for the rest of the turn you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the same name as the added card. So, Hidden Village of Ninjutsu Arts allows you to easily recover some of your most important cards to allow you to continue to play the resource game. The important thing is it's not a combo card. You will usually use this card to get back your Notebook of Mystery, but you can't use Notebook of Mystery the same turn, so you'll just set it face down and get an advantage on the next turn. Draw the game out. Don't try and win the game too fast. The deck doesn't have the tools for that. If a ninja monster or ninjutsu art cards you control will be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can banish one ninja monster from your graveyard instead. You can only use each effect of Hidden Village of Ninjutsu Arts once per turn. That includes itself, by the way. It protects itself from being destroyed. So, for example, if your opponent activates an effect that would destroy all cards you control, and you have this field spell, as well as 2 ninja monsters, and then 2 set trap cards on the board, you could banish one of your ninjas, and then only your set trap cards would be destroyed. Both your field spell and your face-up ninjas would be protected. It's a really good card. We only played it one because Hanzo searches it. And size it. Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery. This is a quick play spell card. If your opponent controls a card, you can set 1 ninja monster and up to 1 ninjutsu art spell or trap, except ninjutsu art Notebook of Mystery. These cards can come from your deck or your graveyard, but only 1 can come from each. If Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery is set face down and is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field and change it to face-down defense position. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay. So Notebook of Mystery is a really interesting card. It allows you to special summon for example, your Jo from the deck, and then if you have Mitsu face up, then you can flip Jo and negate an effect, and then also set 2 monsters your opponent controls face down. If you have your Ninjutsu Art of Duplication, you special summon Jo, and then you will tribute Jo, and you will special summon 4 monsters from your deck, so that you can easily control the board. You can potentially also use this card to give yourself some plays if, for example, you bricked, but you did have Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves. This card could potentially get you a face-down monster to tribute for your Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves, so you can start making plays on your opponent's turn. It's an excellent addition. And then later in the game, when you have cards in your graveyard as well, it's a great recovery tool. So, very good, play this card at 3, use it every turn. We are also playing Ninjutsu Art of Duplication. This is a continuous trap card. Activate this card by tributing 1 ninja monster. Special summon any number of ninja monsters from your deck in face-up attack or face-down defense position with a combined level less than or equal to the level of the tributed monster. When this card leaves the field, destroy all of those monsters. So you contribute your Jo, which is a level 8 monster, to summon any combination of monsters that would equal or be less than level 8. For example, you could summon 2 copies of Tobari the Sky Ninja because they're both level 1, along with 1 copy of Mitsu the Insect Ninja because she's level 2, and you would still be able to then summon your Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo, who is level 4. That gives you 4 monsters on the field, which would allow you to potentially get a negate if, for example, one of your Tobaris was set face down and your Mitsu was face up, along with also giving you access to a fusion summon because you can fuse your Tobari with your Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo to make your Yagamaru so that you can banish one of your opponent's cards. Very, very good card. This card is the entire reason the deck is playable, especially at Master Rank. This is how you will control the board even though you didn't combo on the first turn. The combinations with this card are literally infinite because it's every monster in your deck that could potentially come out. And you don't have to tribute Jo either if you don't have Jo. For example, if you summoned your Hanzo and your Hanzo was the only monster you could get out, well, you can still play Mitsu along with 2 copies of Tobari, 1 face up and 1 face down. That gives you either the ability to fusion summon or the ability to negate, or even both. So it's a great tool. I love this card. And the other thing that's really nice about this card is it's not once per turn. So you can potentially tribute multiple one of your monsters, dodge effects, get multiple monsters face up. You potentially tribute your Yagamaru after you fusion summon it, and get more monsters. So yeah, good card. Lastly, for the main deck, we have Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves. This is a continuous trap card that you can activate by targeting 1 ninja monster or 1 face-down monster on the field. On the field, not a monster you control. So, you can potentially tribute one of your opponent's face-down monsters that you set with your green ninja or with your Jo, the gravity ninja, or you could even equip your Ninjutsu Art tool Iron Digger to one of your opponent's monsters and then tribute it because it's a ninja monster. So, excellent, excellent card that will allow you to get some good removal and surprises off on your opponent. You tribute the monster, and if you do, special summon 1 ninja monster from your deck. It has to be face up, though. When this card leaves the field, send that monster to the graveyard. You can also target 1 Ninjutsu Art continuous spell or trap in your spell and trap zone and return it to the hand. You can only use each effect of Dancing Leaves once per turn, and only 1 of the 2 effects per turn. So, Dancing Leaves is a great card. You tribute your monster, you special summon a monster from your deck, and then you use that monster as material. Then after you've done that, Dancing Leaves will return itself to the hand so that you can set it and use it again next turn. Again, like I said, it's a deck that's all about recursion as opposed to winning the game right away. Great card. For the extra deck, we are playing 3 copies of Yagaramaru, the Armor Ninja. This is a level 5 machine fusion monster. It requires 2 monsters with different types that are both ninjas. Must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by attributing the above cards. If this card is special summoned or flip face up, you can banish one other ninja card or ninjutsu art card from your hand, graveyard, or field, then target 1 card on the field and banish it. So this is great. If it's special summoned, you can, during your opponent's turn, you can banish one of your opponent's cards. Then you can potentially turn it face down with Joe, and then when you flip it face up with Joe next turn, you can potentially banish another one of your opponent's cards. So Yagaramaru is a fantastic addition to the deck, and you could play it every turn. By the way, it says attributing the above cards, you can attribute face down monsters. So if 2 of your monsters are face down and they're different types, you just tribute them. Your opponent will see that they're different types after you've tributed them, so that's fine. And you can summon Yagaramaru. Cool. Next up, we have Mazen the Battle Ninja. This monster is also a 3 of. Level 6 Warrior Fusion monster with 2500 attack and 1500 defense. Requires 2 ninja monsters with different types. Must either first be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by attributing the above cards you control. All of your ninja monsters can attack directly. So you can make plenty of different monsters. You can tribute to special summon Mazen multiple times in a turn. So you can special summon like 3 Mazens. I've done it before and attack your opponent directly. You can give one of your monsters a equip spell that makes them a ninja and attack directly. It's just great. While you control a face-down defense position monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target Mazen for attacks. When your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can special summon 1 ninja monster from your deck in face-up or face-down defense position, and you can only use Mazen's effect once per turn. So, since it's not an activated a negation and it doesn't change attack points, you can't use that effect during the damage step, but it's also just a very good card. You can respond to your opponent's Ash Blossom or Max C with this effect, potentially get some good negates on the board, or even summon your Kagero and revive a monster from your graveyard, and potentially go into another Mazen, or maybe even a Yagaramaru. So yes, this card is very flexible, and it will just continue the resource chain that you need to win the game. Ninjas slowly outgrind their opponent with a ton of resources. We are playing Gigantic Sprite. This is an Xyz monster that requires 2 level 2 monsters, but you could also Xyz summon using a Link 2. The original attack of this card that has a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster as material becomes doubled. And during your main phase, you can activate this effect, detach 1 material from this card. If you do, special summon a level 2 monster from your deck, and neither player can special summon for the rest of the turn except level, rank, or Link 2 monsters. So, we are playing Cross Sheep, and Cross Sheep allows you to revive a monster that's level 4 or lower from your graveyard when you fusion summon. So, you can special summon Mazen, and then with your Cross Sheep, you can bring back your Mitsu, and then you can Xyz Cross Sheep and Mitsu into a Gigantic Sprite with 3,200 attack points. Then you just make it a ninja, and you can attack your opponent directly. Really, really good option. Blade Armor Ninja, rank 4, requires 2 level 4 warrior monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, target a ninja monster you control. It can attack a second time each turn. So, great. This card will just win you the game. It's just an aggressive card that lets you win the game with your Mazen. Downer Magician requires 2 level 4 spellcasters. You can Xyz summon this card by using a rank 3 or lower Xyz monster you control as material. If this card gains 200 attack for each material attached to it, and if it attacks a defense position monster and inflict battle damage, then you can rank that up into Zeus. So, if you make Gigantic Sprite and you can't get lethal for some reason, you can then just go into Downer Magician and Zeus, and you'll have two board wipes. Zeus, for those of you that don't know, you can detach 2 materials from this card, not once per turn, not even once per chain, and send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. So you just get 4 materials on it using Downer Magician and win the game. Ninja Grandmaster Saizo, we are playing this card at 2. It requires 2 ninja monsters, Link 2. Unlike your other 2 extra deck ninja monsters, this requires both monsters to be face up, which is kind of sad. During your main phase, you can set 1 ninjutsu art, spell, or trap directly from your deck. Of course, if you set either Hidden Village of Ninjutsu Arts or your Ninjutsu Art tool Iron Digger, you can immediately activate them because they are not quick play spells. Otherwise, you'll have to wait. While this card points to a monster, Saizo cannot be targeted for an attack. Also, your opponent cannot target Saizo with card effects. So, great. Just make sure that you have a face-down monster on the field, and then both your Mazen and your Saizo are unattackable. Cross Sheep, 2 monsters with different names. If a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can apply the following effects in sequence based on the card types this monster points to. If it has a fusion monster, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. And if it has an Exceeds monster, all monsters your opponent controls lose 700 attack points. So you could potentially make Mazen first, and then link into Cross Sheep, and then Exceeds summon Blade Armor Ninja under Cross Sheep. And then you would trigger both effects, which is very, very unlikely. You're most likely just going to use Mazen to special summon from the graveyard, and then you can link your Cross Sheep into either Boral Sword Dragon or make Gigantic Sprite. Sprite Elf, 2 monsters including a level, rank, or link 2 monster cannot be used as link material to turn into summon. Your opponent cannot target monsters that you control with card effects that point to this card, and during the main phase, you can target one of your level 2 monsters, or you can target a rank 2 or link 2 monster if your opponent controls a monster and special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn. So this card will allow you to bring back your Mitsu, and more importantly, it will allow 2 monsters you control to not be targeted by card effects, which is very useful. Then lastly, Boral Sword Dragon requires at least 3 effect monsters, cannot be destroyed in battle, 3,000 attack points. Once per turn, you can target an attack position monster, change it to defense position, and also this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this activation. And once per turn, when this card declares an attack on a monster, you can activate this effect until the end of the turn. This card gains attack equal to that monster's attack points, and then that monster's attack points are halved. So since it gains half the attack points and they lose half the attack points, it's basically like Boral Sword attacks directly. Very good card, and if you give it the Iron Digger, then you can basically turn one of your opponent's monsters to defense position. Boral Sword then gets to attack twice for 7,000. Mazen finishes them off. It's great. Alright, that's the deck. Let's take a look at the replay. Alright, we are going first against Snake Eyes Azamina. Now, as you can see, my hand is very control heavy. I have 1 monster and then 2 trap cards, and that's it. And I'm going up against a very heavy combo deck that can easily build a huge board. But the way that we win is we simply make it so our opponent can't use any of their resources effectively. Start things off by normal summoning Hanzo to draw a ninjutsu art card. We draw our ninjutsu art Notebook of Mystery. Then we set all 3 cards and go pass. It is our opponent's turn. They draw. They're going to start things off by summoning their Rusia of the White Forest, and we'll take the opportunity to activate our Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery immediately to special summon Jo, the Gravity Ninja, from our deck. The opponent is then going to activate Rusia's effect. They discard a card to draw a card, and we will effect veiler that. Then we're going to chain our Ninjutsu Art of Duplication, and we're going to tribute our Hanzo, so that we can special summon Mitsu from our deck along with 2 Tobares so that we can get another monster negate. The card he discarded was Woes the White Forest, which lets him set it. Then he can chain Play the Diabel, which allows him to send a illusion monster from the deck to the graveyard, which is going to be Elzet. He sets 2 more cards, then he's going to attack. Now we'll activate Tobare's effect in response and fuse the 2 monsters into Yagaramaru the Armor Ninja. Yagaramaru's effect activates, we banish 1 ninja from the graveyard to banish our opponent's trap card. They're going to set 1 more card since we banished another one. During the end phase, we will activate our second Ninjutsu Art of Duplication. We tribute Jo, who is level 8, to special summon Hanzo and Kagero. Since it was a Chain Link 1, Hanzo's effect activates as a Chain Link 1, and Kagero's effect activates as a Chain Link 2, so we don't miss timing. We get to draw a ninja monster, and also we get to set a monster from our graveyard, which is just going to be Jo. So that was free. Grab Mitsu. It's our turn. Now, we're going to start things off by flip summoning Jo. That'll let us turn both Hanzo and the opponent's monster face down. The opponent is going to chain to this with Woes of the White Forest, which allows them to special summon a White Forest monster from their hand or deck. Then immediately after the effect resolves, you can synchro summon a White Forest Synchro monster. Now they do have multiple synchro monsters that are pretty threatening, but we have Ghost Warner and Moonlit Chill, so even if they special summon a monster that's dangerous like Silvera, we can discard it to negate the monster effect. However, for some reason my opponent special summons a tuner monster, which means they can't synchro summon because they have 2 tuner monsters. He's going to activate Elzet's effect as a Chain Link 1 because it was special summon, and the Sylvia effect as a Chain Link 2 to draw. We're going to win the game this turn anyway, so we don't care. We're going to go ahead and negate this effect. I don't know what he's going to add, but I'm not going to take any chances. He gets Elzet back. Now we can flip summon Hanzo. That will allow us to pop his trap card, and then also Hanzo will allow us to draw a monster. They're going to activate Sinful Spoils of Subdual, which allows them to special summon an illusion monster from their deck, but they can't activate its effects this turn, and so they choose Nightmare Apprentice. We draw Baku the Beast Ninja. And now we're going to tribute 2. Special summon the Yagaramaru, which will allow us to get rid of the last trap card. Excellent. Mitsu special summon, normal summon the Baku, link it to Maizen. Xyz. Blade Armor Ninja. Blade Armor Ninja's effect. We get to attack twice this turn. And we just attack directly. 25, 25, 22, and 2000. There you go. Literally, I just normal summoned a monster and passed, and I was able to beat one of the top meta decks in the game. And it's not like they bricked, they had a good hand. It's just that we stopped everything that they did and we won the game. My name is Srafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.